Right now at 6, March Madness takes over the Rose City as sports score big when it comes to Oregon's economy.
This is one of the most productive industries.
Plus, what the WNBA's landmark deal means for Portland's newest team.
It's a great sign for WNBA fans, Portland Fire fans, everyone who loves women's sports.
Then the disturbing allegations around a labor rights icon and the new push to make changes to the local street that bears his name. And
what we are hearing today from students is that they can tell the difference.
The governor checks in on evidence showing how Oregon students may be better off without their phones.
And later, the new exhibit bringing a Titanic tragedy and legacy back to life.
I think when people come here, they're going to be surprised about what survived.
But first, our top story tonight here at 6, March Madness is here and the Rose City is right in the middle of it. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Padawane.
And I'm David Moko. As teams across the country hit the court, Portland is set to host some of the tournament's biggest matchups, from the action on the floor to the money pouring in, and a WNBA deal now assuring the Portland Fire can tip off as scheduled this May.
We've got live team coverage tonight, and we are kicking things off with our very own Orlando Sanchez, who was at open practice today as teams get ready for tip-off. Hey, Orlando.
Christine, it's about to go down. The road to the Final Four rolls through the Rose City. 8 teams from around the country are all here with one goal in mind: survive and advance. And just like in 2022, the last time the NCAA tournament was here, the Moda Center will have a home court type of vibe for the 3-seed Gonzaga Bulldogs. Driving distance from the Kennel. There's no doubt Gonzaga fans will outnumber the rest. It's also somewhat of a homecoming for head coach Mark Few, an Oregonian from Creswell. I asked him about getting a chance to coach a tournament game in his home state.
It's great for me to get back, relatively close to home. My dad's not able to travel, but it's nice that we're close enough, and the family can get down to see him maybe in the break in between games and such. But love Portland, love coming to Portland. Obviously, love staying in the Northwest. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a huge fan base down here, and it's easy for our fans to get here.
So check out Thursday's first round matchups. Number 5 Wisconsin takes on the 12-seed High Point. Then 4-seed Arkansas, led by projected lottery pick Darius Acuff, faces number 13 Hawaii. The second session will be the hot ticket. BYU's AJ DeBonsa could be the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft. The Cougars take on Texas, while the 3-seed Gonzaga closes out Thursday night against Kennesaw State. Gonzaga, a 21.5-point favorite going into this one, but their last trip to Portland didn't go so well. They lost to the Pilots last month in PDX. All those winners will advance to play on Saturday right here at Moda Center. So here we go. Let the madness begin.
Oh, let us hope
Back
that
to
does
you.
not happen with the Zags this time, because if it does, it'll bust my bracket. I'll get your expert advice on this one later. Thanks so much, Orlando. It's going to be a fun few days.
Oh, yeah, it will be. Okay, let's turn it over now to John Adams, digging into a new report showing the key role sports play in Oregon's economy. John, local leaders really being vocal on this one.
Christine, that's exactly right. At a time when businesses and investment dollars are leaving the Portland metro area, leaders say our sports economy is more important than it's ever been. One of the main anchors of that, of course, is right behind me, Moda Center. As local leaders look to turn around a grim economic outlook for the Portland metro, a bright spot can be found at local sports stadiums and arenas.
So at a time when we're losing jobs in the metro region, state is treading water at best, this is one of the most productive industries.
The study looked at the economic impact of professional and Division I college sports in the state in 2024. It found that sporting events brought 1.3 million non-local visitors to the area, with those visitors spending over $300 million at hotels, restaurants, and retail establishments. The study also found these teams and events supported 8,700 jobs for a total economic impact of $1.7 billion.
But one thing is right in front of us that's producing right now is the sports economy.
Jim Etzel, the CEO of Sport Oregon, points to the construction of the new Hillsboro Hops Stadium and training facilities for the Timbers and Thorns as being a huge driver for construction jobs in the metro.
And then here, we're steps away from being able to launch a $600 million renovation.
Renovations to the aging Moda Center are critical, according to Etzel, with the arena set to host the 2030 NCAA Women's Final Four.
If we don't upgrade this facility and this district, that will be the last major sports event that this Rose Quarter hosts.
And he believes the economic impact can be even greater in the future, as the study did not include data on the area's newest professional franchise, the Portland Fire.
There's nothing that's actualizing itself right now like sports.
John Adams, KGW News.
Well, speaking of, let's talk about the boost we're about to get from the Portland Fire.
Right, Jake Holter is also live at Moda tonight. Jake, sounds like the season will start on time in May. That is thanks to the WNBA and Players Union finally reaching an agreement here.
Yeah, that's right, Christine and David. And they reached this deal after initially missing that March 10th deadline the WNBA had set to avoid delaying the season. Now, the agreement comes more than a year after the players opted out of their last deal and 5 months after that deal was set to expire. This new landmark agreement is expected to quadruple player salaries and paves the way for the league's first $1 million players. There are still some legal specifics to iron out. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert told ESPN that any changes to the 2026 schedule are avoided. We spoke to Sports Business Radio's Brian Berger, who says he's encouraged by the deal, but still feels the players are undervalued.
The league is exploding in growth. They're playing in bigger venues. They have a better TV deal than they've ever had. They have better sponsors than they've ever had. So the revenues are there, and the players should share in those revenues.
Next comes the expansion draft, which is crucial for the Portland Fire as they don't yet have any players. Then after the drafts, training camp, and then preseason. And the Fire's first preseason game is slated for April 29th, which is less than a month and a half away.
Yeah, a lot of people very excited for the start of the season. Thank you so much, Jake.
Got to put that team together.
I know. It's going to come together soon. With March Madness in town, lots of people out there will be out and about in the Rose City this weekend. And gosh, it has been a beautiful week so far, hasn't it? Right now, we're taking a look out from our Vancouver Skycam. 68 degrees in downtown Portland on this Wednesday evening. I believe Matt said 71 was the high today.
Yeah,
wow.
Only Wednesday, Matt. How are things looking as we head toward the weekend?
I think everybody in town visiting for March Madness is going, is it always like this in March? Because it's really quite beautiful outside. Look at Timberline. It's clear, it's 53 degrees, and we'd love to hang on to that clear sky overnight tonight because there was a big solar flare that left the sun yesterday, arrives at Earth tonight and tomorrow. So it very well may spark the northern lights tonight. Now we're fighting these high clouds, but if you can get away from those, it's a pretty good chance tonight and tomorrow night that they will be visible. You need to get away from city lights. Clear view to the north, of course, which is tough because that's where the clouds are. And they're possible into the early morning hours. Give your eyes time to adjust. And don't forget the camera on your phone or your digital camera may actually be able to see them when you can't. So take a couple pictures and see if they show up that way. What's next is this. Dry and mild again tomorrow. We may not see 70 like we did today. We actually hit 71. But we get rain on Friday, and then it all comes, I don't want to say crashing down to an end, but it does change. As we go to the weekend, back to more typical temperatures for this time of the year. We'll talk about what comes up for spring break in a bit. Back to you guys.
Lots of people interested in that. Thanks, Matt.
In your headlines this evening, a Portland City Councilor wants to rename Cesar Chavez Boulevard on the heels of a stunning investigation that revealed the civil rights leader who died in 1993 allegedly sexually abused girls and women for decades. The New York Times investigation includes accusations from 3 women, including labor rights activist Dolores Huerta and 2 others who say they were just 12 and 13 years old when the abuse started. Huerta, who was in her 30s at the time, says she stayed silent for decades out of concern she could hurt the movement. The United Farm Workers Union, the organization Chavez helped build, says it will not participate in any Cesar Chavez Day activities this year, calling the allegations incompatible with its values. Here in Portland, Councilor Candace Avalos is pushing to rename the boulevard after Huerta and wants a community to petition to start that process. Mayor Wilson said he would be open to the change through a community-driven effort. We'll have much more tonight on KGW News at 11.
A new audit out today found the city of Portland has not consistently delivered on promises related to the city's Arts and Education Fund. Approved by voters back in 2012, the tax is meant to pay for things like art teachers and grants for arts and organizations. The audit found it generates over $11 million annually, totaling about $146 million by the 2024-25 fiscal year. Despite that, grant funding has shrunk because the money is split with school districts facing rising costs. The tax also isn't adjusted for inflation. We've got a deep dive on that audit right now on KGW.com.
And after more than 40 years, Portland-based Mercy Corps is rebranding. The organization is deployed on the ground in more than 35 countries, responding to places like Ukraine and Gaza. But leaders say the name no longer fits. It was hard to translate, carried military connotations in some spots, and read as faith-based in others. So this fall, the organization officially becomes Prosper Global.
Our name was really increasingly at odds with our values, with how we were working in the world, and we're really keen to make sure that our identity and that our name is aligned with our purpose, who we are, what we do, for what we're doing now as well as into the future.
Well, the new name and logo officially roll out in September.